I'm delighted to take over and pick up from Rachel, and as Rachel said, we co-founded the Conservative Women in Parliament, bringing together MPs and peers to make sure that women have a stronger voice. And I'm really keen to work more with candidates and women generally involved in the party to give us all a really strong voice. To pick up on what Rachel was saying, what Sian said in the introduction, as politicians, we can't help but think about votes. Apparently 54% of the electorate is women. So it's even more important to make sure that we win the votes of women. And we know that we have a challenge winning the votes of women at the moment, and particularly younger women. But this isn't just about votes. I feel very strongly that one of our responsibilities is clearly to do the best possible job we can do in government. And so it's not just about having the right policies for votes, it's actually having the right policies so we're doing the best possible job for women in our country and for the girls who are going to grow up to be women, like my two daughters, who are two of my three children, who are 3 of the 12, to the panel here. And there are two ways I think about what we need to do for women to make sure we do the right things for women. The first is to do with the people and the voices we have in the room influencing what happens. And the second is to do with then the policies and the what actually happens. But something that I've learned, particularly since being an MP, is that politicians of all kinds, they draw on their own experiences. In fact, almost whatever job you're doing, if you're anyone involved in the policy world, actually you draw on your own experiences to campaign for stuff that you know about and you care about. So for me, as a parent with kids in primary schools, I noticed that they were doing really well learning to read and to spell with our policies on phonics, and that was going to be going really well. But heck, they weren't learning their times tables. So I went to campaign for times table testing to be introduced in schools, and it has been, and my children are really cross with me. But that was just drawing on my own experience. So everybody brings their own experiences to the work that they do and influences the policies we have, to the budget, to the Queen's speech, to all to the manifesto. Which is why it's so important for us to have women's voices in all of those processes. Because women will draw on their own experiences. We may talk more about health or education. We may talk about the challenges that we have in the workplace. But it's through us being part of that conversation that we will then have the right policies. And that's one reason why, as Deputy Chair of the party, which unfortunately I'm not Deputy Chair anymore because I can't combine that with being Minister. But so my work for women in the party is now being picked up by Carolyn Johnston, who is fabulous, and she's one of the party's vice chairs, and she will do a great job taking that forward. But one of the things that I did a lot, and she and I do, is pushing for women to stand for us for Parliament, stand for us for local elections. And I'm sure many of you in this room have already heard that message from me, the Ask Her to Stand message, but if you haven't heard it, I say to you yet again, if you're thinking about standing, please do step forward and get involved and speak up. To my second point, the policies. So having the right policies that appeal to women. We know women have some different experiences of life, and more likely to be at school gates, more likely to be taking, for instance, their kids to GP surgery, more likely, I'm afraid, to be victims of domestic violence, of harassment, of certain forms of discrimination, like maternity discrimination. So tackling these things in the government is absolutely vital. I will say, I think we have been doing a pretty good job. And I think it's important to say that because this is an area where Labour seem to think that they can attack us and try and pretend that we don't have an incredibly strong record on the stuff we're doing for women. Actually, we do have a really strong record. Actually, the gender pay gap is its lowest level on record. We introduced transparency in pay gap reporting for large companies. That's moving the way companies are thinking about their pay. We've been legislating on domestic abuse, on FGM, on upskirting, on maternity discrimination. So we are doing tons of stuff which is good for women. As Rachel mentioned, one of the things I'm really keen on is flexible working, and I know that's being listened to, also shared parental leave, so making sure that we have more equality both in the workplace and at home. To me, I think it will make a real difference for the prospects for women, but actually for families and for our economy as a whole. So we are doing good stuff for women. There is certainly more to do. And I look forward to hearing ideas from lots of you today in this conversation, and do speak up and make sure that we're doing the right thing by women.